SMT Nation, we back. Good article from Mike Dano at Light Reading, and there's so many things in here that I want to discuss in this video. Go ahead and just jump right into it. The last couple of years, this dates back, we'll call it like pandemic, post-pandemic era, has been a major growth period for wireless mobile network operators. They have seen huge growth. More specifically, we could definitely name drop AT&T and T-Mobile, big cable operators, reselling mobile networks as MVNOs. They have found a lot of success. Verizon, not so much, but generally speaking, the industry itself has had a lot of growth. Analysts are calling for an absolute cool down period. They're also, we're looking at financial stuff here, right? Also looking at the spending and the capital expenditure of the companies, they're going to be slowing down their spending as well. The economy calls for it, and also the front-heavy investment into 5G networking. They're looking to slow down their capex. All right, now, am I concerned? Does that mean that all of a sudden the networks are going to suck? Not at all. Most of the spending has been done. Most of the heavy lifting has been done. Now it's pretty much just going to be a normalized pace of upgrades that happen in places that have yet to receive 5G upgrades, whether it's radios, antennas, fiber backhaul transport, basebands, modernizations at cell tower sites and transport and all those things. So that's going to continue to happen. National scale upgrades from the big three, right? Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile will continue. Some at a faster pace than others because of where they are. Right, Verizon accelerated, AT&T accelerated. T-Mobile's kind of, I think they're in a place where they're not accelerating, they're just kind of pacing. So we've got all this going on, and I think when I look at these numbers, expectations by analysts, postpaid phone sub growth to slow in 2023. 7.7 million net adds for 2023 versus 2022, which saw 9.1 million. So how likely is it that the industry as a whole sees a 10, 15, or 20% slowdown or decrease in penetration, right? I think it's very likely. I think that is a fine prediction. I think that's the most likely scenario, right? You look at economic times and how things are playing out, and you're looking at people trying to, find the best deals, stick with the carrier they have, maybe upgrading less, more people doing eSIM. There's a lot of factors at play there. But just generally speaking, after booms comes the bust. So I think it makes sense for a bit of a slowdown after basically a renaissance period for growth. Now, does that mean that all the carriers are going to all of a sudden come to a screeching halt? I don't think so. I still think big cable is going to grow a little bit. Maybe not, 350,000 net adds for, Charter or Comcast each. Maybe collectively they do like 400,000 or something instead of the normal, 600,000. Maybe for T-Mobile, instead of doing the, 900,000 net adds in a quarter, maybe they hang around the 650,000 mark. Maybe AT&T finally slows down a little bit. Maybe they're from like the 700,000 down to like the 400,000 or something. But collectively, I think a slowdown makes sense. And it's probably good that they've slowed down their spending in their CapEx to account for that lack of growth. All right, so I think all this kind of comes together. Again, all of the spending over the last couple of years, it's been a lot, and they're looking to get the ROI, right? The return on investment, get some of that money recouped. And that's what investors are looking for. Now, the couple of things that I do want to mention is Verizon has home internet over its 5G network. So they got the 5G home, and T-Mobile has their 5G home. And those serve as additional revenue streams that, say, for example, AT&T doesn't have. Their focus is on fiber, which they're growing, organically through their own, their native fiber build. And now with the joint venture with BlackRock, with Gigapower, they're going to continue on that path. So there's room and profitability and margins to be had. And there's synergies with fiber and wireless there. And then for Verizon, the home internet piece, They'll continue to grow, and they're getting more markets with C-band this year. And T-Mobile, right, continuing to really shock the cable industry. So while this may seem like the type of thing where, okay, well, the companies must be headed for a downturn in 23, not really. It's just, the brakes get pumped just a little bit in the net adds of the mobile networking. But when it comes to fixed wireless, I think Verizon and T-Mobile are full speed ahead. And when it comes to fiber, AT&T is full speed ahead. So maybe the maturity in the market, the slowdown of mobile network net adds, maybe that slows down, but there's other things. And I think the carriers have done nicely to position themselves moving forward. I think the best positioned, personally, when it comes to the collective, I think is AT&T. Right? That fiber piece is just an absolute winner. And they're not even fronting all the investment into that company. Right? They're in there with BlackRock. And then, T-Mobile's done a really great job of marketing their product and really just crushing cable. I don't think that's going to stop. And, Verizon's really focusing on building, a nationwide, the best 5G network on the market. And that's how they're going to market it and sell it. And, they're going to do the 5G home internet, for the wireless side. And I think they're all going to find success. I don't think there's going to be much trouble. I want to see where Dish ends up this year. They got marks that they've got to hit, and they've got things that they got to do for the sake of building out their nationwide 5G network, and they got to launch retail, and they've got to go to market strategy. They've got to find and discover and execute on. But I just don't see 23 as a bad year. I don't think it's going to be. Okay, so I ask you guys because, we all follow this together and everybody's got their guesses and assumptions and what they think is going to happen. So you can make your prediction and tell me what you think. Tell me what you think 23 is going to bring as an industry. Do you think that the year is going to show a slowdown? If so, how much of a slowdown compared to last year? Do you think it's going to be more specific to a particular carrier? Like, is one carrier more prone to a slowdown or more likely to have a slowdown? Do you think it's going to be Verizon, AT&T, or T-Mobile? Do you think it's going to be more than one? Do you think that the fiber offers the advantage? Do you think that the fixed wireless, era is kind of still a thing? Those are all some of the things that came to mind as I was reading this article, and I thought to myself, they've got pros and cons in these ways. But I do think the growth renaissance for mobile is likely to slow down. My personal opinion on that, and I could be wrong, and who knows, Mike Dano could be right here in his article and his premise, but that's kind of all this in a collective. So sound off in the comment section below. You are the voice of the people, the SMT Nation. Let your voice be heard. Like, share, subscribe for more. Turn on that bell notification icon to never miss an upload. Links are in the description for all things going on with the channel. Big shout out to the YouTube members and the patrons for supporting content on this channel, making it possible. Y'all the goats. Thanks for all that you do, and thanks to everyone for watching. We shall see you all in the next one. Peace.